Watch right now. Russian key fuel train destroyed. Blessing Satan. The Russian Church is craving war. Do not trust Putin. Urgent message from Europe to Trump. Let's dive into the full story. This is the case. And don't forget to like, subscribe and share our content. A Russian train carrying fuel tanks was successfully hit by Ukrainian drones in Molochansk, near occupied Tokmak in the Zaporizhia region, where now Russians are preparing a main breakthrough, following a defeat they had effectively suffered in the Sumy region. The attack used special long-range FPV drones for precise targeting. It was a joint effort by Ukraine's National Guard, Security Service, Defense Intelligence and Missile Brigade. And for the first time, we have a footage of another successful operation of Ukrainian drone forces. A Russian General Abachev barely managed to escape with his life, but his arm and leg are reported to have remained in Ukraine forever, as they have been severely injured. The Ukraine's main Directorate of Intelligence added that after being wounded, Abachev was taken by military transport aircraft to the hospital in Moscow. In 2022, the Security Service of Ukraine declared Abachev a suspect. He participated in hostilities against Ukrainian troops in the areas of Severodonetsk, Lysychansk, Kremlin, Rubizhne and other settlements in the Lugansk region. For committing war crimes in eastern Ukraine, the Russian Federation's top leadership awarded Abachev the title of Hero of Russia and Hero of the Luhansk People's Republic.
On August 16th at around 9:30 p.m., during a series of pinpoint strikes by the crew of UA-REG FPV drones, a military vehicle was hit on the Rilsk-Chomutov highway. According to available information, the vehicle with military number 9828RM was carrying the deputy commander of the Russian military grouping Sever, Lieutenant General Abachev. As a result of the strike, the Russian high-ranking official received serious injuries that led to the amputation of both limbs and actual loss of working capacity.
U.S. President Donald Trump has not ruled out providing air support to Ukraine as part of security guarantees, according to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Previously, the White House chief has stated that the U.S. should focus on air operations for Ukraine.
The president has definitively stated U.S. boots will not be on the ground in Ukraine, but we can certainly help in the coordination and perhaps provide other means of security guarantees to our European allies. The president understands security guarantees are crucially important to ensure a lasting peace, and he has directed his national security team to coordinate with our friends in Europe and also to continue to cooperate and discuss these matters with Ukraine and Russia.
Finnish President Alexander Stubb warned that Russian dictator Putin is not a reliable partner. He made the statement on Monday in Washington after meeting with the US, Ukrainian and European leaders at the White House.
But now we must remember that Putin can rarely be trusted, so now we still have to find out whether he will have the courage to attend such a meeting. Will he have the courage to attend a trilateral meeting? Or will he stall for time again? Of course, if he really does stall for time, then together we will look for new solutions.
Around 10 countries are prepared to send troops to Ukraine as part of a potential peace deal, aiming to strengthen Kyiv's position ahead of possible talks between President Zelenskyy and Putin. According to Bloomberg, European officials discussed deploying British and French forces, including their numbers and locations. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy confirmed that during a meeting with U.S. counterpart Donald Trump, he proposed a deal to purchase over $90 billion worth of American weapons. Speaking at the briefing in Washington, he said that the arms package, which is currently unavailable in Ukraine, is part of the security guarantees.
There is indeed a package with our proposals for $90 billion. This is the second part of security guarantees for us. The third part is our production of drones. We have an agreement with U.S. President Donald Trump on the purchase of Ukrainian drones after the opening of exports.
Donald Trump's spiritual advisor, evangelical pastor Mark Burns, has issued a powerful call for Washington to stand firmly behind Ukraine, just days after Vladimir Putin shockingly demanded security guarantees for the Russian Orthodox Church in Ukraine during talks in Alaska.
This Russian Orthodox Church is the same institution being used by the Kremlin to justify war, bless missiles, and deceive millions by pretending their invasion is somehow holy. Let me be clear. The Ukrainian people are not trying to silence faith. They are standing against a corrupt system that uses the name of God to bless violence. The head of the Russian Orthodox Church has called the war against Ukraine a holy mission and promised forgiveness to those who kill innocent people. That is not Christianity. That is a false religion being used to serve empire. Pastor Mark Burns on X social network.
The Russian Orthodox Church has been a frequent tool in Kremlin propaganda. Clergy publicly blast military equipment, including T-90 Vladimir tanks, the main battle tanks of Russia, as well as missile systems like the intercontinental missile named Saturn and the cruise missile Oreshnik. Additionally, in 2022, the head of the Russian Orthodox Church, Patriarch Kirill, openly stated that killing Ukrainians wash away sins.
The church prays that as few brothers as possible kill each other in this brother against brother war. At the same time, the church understands that if someone dies while fulfilling their military duty, then undoubtedly they are offering themselves as a sacrifice for others, and this sacrifice washes away all the sins that person has committed.
By the way, Burns' dramatic shift in stance comes after a trip to Ukraine in April, where he witnessed the atrocities committed by Russia firsthand.
Obviously, being on the ground in Ukraine has changed my opinion significantly. I am on record as being one of the staunch opponents of supporting Ukraine. It changed my perspective significantly. I now believe that supporting Ukraine is America first. And so my support for Ukraine is not a stab at him, but a call to every Republican, every conservative, every American, and those around the world who, like me, have been brainwashed by fake news media about Ukraine. Pastor Mark Burns, in an interview with Kyiv Independent.
Ukraine's position remains clear. No institution that blesses killing can be granted immunity, not on the battlefield and not under the guise of a church. America understands this, and we are grateful to everyone who, like Mark Burns, had the courage to change their view after seeing the truth. And our correspondent Alyona Gramova witnessed the mandatory evacuation of families with children. It has been announced in the 18 more settlements of Donetsk Oblast. For example, the city of Druzhkivka was added to the list. Russian troops have attacked the city about 300 times since the beginning of the year. Police and volunteers continue to evacuate people in frontline areas.
The bone is sticking out.
It's been 3 days since I buried my son. Oh.
Hang in there, hang in there.
These images show police paramedics providing medical assistance to a woman injured in a Russian strike near the city of Kostiantynivka. She was at home when the attack happened.
It all collapsed on top of me.
Was it while you were at home?
Yes, I came here from the neighborhood.
Hang in there.
The woman was treated with tourniquets and taken to the hospital. Under continuous attack by Russian drones, police are also recovering the bodies of civilians killed in drone strikes.
Anton, get in the car, quickly. Something hit from the side, yeah?
Evacuating people from Kostiantynivka and nearby settlements is becoming increasingly difficult each day due to Russian attack drones targeting any vehicles moving along frontline roads. The drones have also started striking nearby Druzhkivka. There, and in 4 surrounding settlements, a mandatory evacuation for families with children has recently been announced.
Currently, officers from the White Angel Unit, juvenile police, and all necessary emergency services, along with representatives of the military administrations, are working to determine the exact number of children remaining in these settlements, including Druzhkivka, in order to carry out a full-scale evacuation of families with children.
Since the beginning of 2025, Russian forces have shelled Druzhkivka nearly 300 times. According to evacuation teams, the intensity of the attacks continues to grow.
There have been more missile strikes, more drones flying, so people will only become more active about evacuating.
According to the Regional Military Administration, about 1,700 children currently live with their families in Druzhkivka and 4 nearby towns where mandatory evacuation orders are in place. In Druzhkivka alone, around 2,000 civilian infrastructure facilities have already been either destroyed or severely damaged. Reported by Alona Hramova, Yevhen Karmazin from Donetsk region, UATV News.
I urge encourage you to join the fight for freedom and sovereignty, subscribe to our channel and stay tuned to what is happening in the world, presented from Ukrainian perspective. Hope to see you very soon. Stay tuned. Goodbye.